Hey, welcome back to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. Alright, you nutjob chess players out there in La La Land, let's take another look still at the three pillars of chess. You wonderful chess playing, loving, wanting to improve yourselves people, I have a phenomenal game to show you again. This one is by my man, Jeremy Silman, in his book, How to Reassess Your Chess, 4th edition. Sensational game. This is on page 243, 244. He's playing Fullbrook in the Pacific Southwest Open in 1988. I've just written it down on a piece of paper. It's much easier than holding that gigantic, wonderful tome of pure gold. So Silman is playing the black. So we'll get right on this. He stupidly puts up the c5. Yes, I'm joking, of course. Silman never did anything stupid in his life. Except encourage me. Yeah, I'm kidding. He's a wonderful guy. I love that guy. d4. C takes d4 immediately. And then the knight takes d4 immediately. So we already have skirmishing. Knight f6, knight c3, fantastic, arguing for the center. Yes, this is something Yusupov also argues. Nimzovich argued it, Alekin argued it, Fischer did, all of them do, Kasparov, Carlsen, every one of them. This is one of the pillars of chess because this is what helps you win. That's simple. Nothing big or fancy. Bishop e3, also speedily development. That probably should be a pillar, but I'm going to keep it to 3 because 3 is sort of a mystical, mythical, magical number, and we do so much in ways of 3 that I'm going to keep it to 3, even though there's a lot more to it than that. For now, this will help give us a solid foundation. Knight g4, bishop c4, knight takes e3, target. No, it wasn't weak. No, it wasn't unsupported. But he's eliminating some of the central. Of course, then losing the knight, he's also losing a little bit of central control, right? But there are reasons. F takes e3. This is one of them. Weakens some squares here. Yeah. Okay, he's creating weaknesses on purpose. And now knight e5. Target. No question about it. Bishop bumps to b3, so it's not a crisis. g6, he wants to be in Keto, and I'll show you why in a second. Castling, always a good option early on. Bishop g7, look at this. Hitting the long diagonal, seriously good potential central powerhouse pieces could be targets. Makes sense to be in Keto, yeah? Right. Knight d5, look at the center of white. White's not monkeying around either. Truly. This is a great game so far. He castles, he better. He needs to right now, Bubba. Queen comes to e1, e6, gently building his center, hitting a target, chasing the knight away. Shoo fly, shoot, shoot, scram, Bubba. So he goes to f4. Queen comes up to e7, developing still, which is a very good idea. Look at this, rook d1, partial open file, but he nabs the first file. One of the pillars, I'm telling you. So Silman's got his work cut out for him. It seems like this guy has been around the block, yeah? Right? At least in my opinion. Bishop d7, once again, bringing his entire fighting force into this, yes. h4, ooh, is he coming for a kingside attack? Silman puts the kibosh on that right now. Not going to monkey around that way. Stop. Hold it and whoa. Whoa, baby. Now, C3. Watch how Silman creates weaknesses on the queen side, he says. The idea, drink lots of water. I'm not kidding. It's wonderful stuff. The idea is create weaknesses. If there are no weaknesses, then create them and then attack them, yes? And so this is the idea. This is the intent behind his next few moves. Queen G3. He looks like he's trying to come on a king side, doesn't he? And now A5. Get in there, Bubba. And now Rook D2. It's amazing that he is not pushing to... He is guarded, of course, but it's amazing he's not trying to fight back and come into this. That's kind of interesting. But he is building hard on the king side, so... I mean, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying, yeah, that's very interesting. Rook D2, and now A4 hitting targets. Yes, definitely hitting targets, rearranging the queen side, although it does give the bishop a good hit on the king side, and he has power over here. He's got good protection of his king, and he's got power against Silman's king. Silman's king side is really well structured also. So this is a real interesting arrangement, right? A3 targets. Now what this does, this isn't the weakness. He's going to make this a weakness. By attacking the supporting pawn, he weakens this one, right? That's how that works. Just letting you know. And sure enough, bishop takes h5. He's going to try to break up Silman's king side here. He does a little bit. There's some cracking. He's got weaknesses in here too, absolutely. And now the knight takes h5. Target. He's got a target of Silman's bishop, and he's got a square here. He could it's pretty well covered though, but I'm just saying, the knight in that area with the queen and the rook coming down, it could be a really tough kingside attack. You want to keep your eye on things like that without question. And he does. He bumps to f6. And now here comes the weakness-creating move. And now we have weaknesses. All over the place, actually. That's not, but that. Nice. So he is deliberately creating weaknesses, potential targets, yes? King comes to h7. Knight goes back to f3, coming in on, and bishop to h6, hitting a target, the e3 pawn. He's thinking targets. Knight goes to f4, covering up the target. Good outpost for the knight, actually. That's not bad. Although you notice he has blocked the double pawns on the e-file, and therefore it makes sense. If you can stop the progression of a double pawn, then they become targets, and you really do want to attack them because it undermines your opponent's position. And so this is the operation we're seeing happening, right? Not rigidly, but he's going for it. Now, here we go. Rook g8. Target on the partial open file. Yeah. Yeah. The second pillar. The second pillar. I see it. Every really good chess player puts these three pillars to work. Every one of them, man. No question. Queen h3, very nice. Knight g4. Target. Now, the coordination, again, of the rook on the open file, and now the knight gets to use the support of the rook on the open file. The bishop gets to hit the knight gets to hit another target. It is really cool to see how this works. Knight comes to d4, hitting targets of his own. Look at the center. No one has really... It's not, I hesitate to put it this way. I'm not trying to say it's not necessary, but you notice neither one of them have really given an inch on trying to control the center. And because of that, I mean, it's pretty even. If anything, I would say white is just equally as strong, if not more so, due to his rooks than black is in the center. So they are participating on the wings. That makes sense. When the center is inaccessible, you go to the wing play. Yeah. So that's kind of fun to observe. Knight takes the weak target. Absolutely. Knight will take out the target. Queen will take the knight, putting her out into the center instead of on the king side. And now e5. Look at that beautiful pawn fork. Targets, man. Center and targets. That is a thing of beauty, isn't it? I mean, I'll let you take a look at that real quick while I suck down some more water. Very cool. Knight f5. Targets. Yeah, hitting the queen. There you go. Well, bishop takes f5. Yeah, that makes sense. That really does make sense. E, of course, will take the bishop. That also makes sense. The pawn structure of black is quite strong still in the center. That's interesting. We're approaching the end of the game, and his pawn structure has held, and yet that's not denigrating white's central efforts either, because he has been influencing the center really well this entire game, hasn't he? Really. True story. And he's had a file and a partial file, but he hasn't, it doesn't appear to me anyway, I'm not trying to be biased, but it doesn't appear to me that white has been able to utilize his files as much as black has. So, the file is a means to an end, not an end of itself. Just because you get an open file doesn't mean, ta-da, the work is done. No, now you want to use it. If not to attack other weaknesses, then to create more weaknesses in your opponent's side, right? So, let's see, Queen C7 on the partial open file, and finally hitting the weakness here that he induced from here. See how that works? Queen E2, he's going to hit his own target. Yeah, not bad. Bishop will take F4. Target, nice central outpost there too, isn't it? That's pretty good. Queen H5, check, target. Yeah, the value of a queen, man. She can go this away, that away, diagonally. I mean, don't ever underestimate the queens, right? Well, he does have a good cover, Bishop H6. Very nice cover. G4, here come the pawns. So you can't Mickey Mouse this, or you're gonna get mowed over, see? You can't. Now look, in my opinion, I think it is because of his pawn pushes that Silman quit worrying about that. Yeah. This is the weakness and weaknesses, probably more of an end game insurance thing is what I would suspect, if I'm gonna generalize. But now this is getting, yeah, you gotta pay attention to this. You can't just let this go. And how does he do it? He uses his open file, hits a target, and checks the king. And you go, well, that's not that big of a deal. He just basically gave the rook to him, right? No, he didn't. Because if he would have done that, he loses the queen. So there's a tactic involved in hitting a target on your open file, checking the king. That is a very sweet move. And it is the open file, one of the pillars that makes it work. Yeah, that is so cool how this works, man. And of course, double your pleasure, double your fun. Oh, rooks on open files. Like I was saying, it just appears to me like Silman was able to use his file better than his opponent, and that makes a difference in this game. And his hitting targets. His opponent has not been a slouch at aiming at targets and taking targets of his own either. They certainly have not been weak in the center on either side. So this has been a superb illustration of how, if we can keep them in mind and attempt to put the three pillars of chess into our games, it does make a difference. I don't think I'm exaggerating this or just fantasizing it. I'm seeing it, and by showing it to you, you too can see it, right? Silman utilizes this. And this is in his chapter on target consciousness. Yeah, so, I mean, this is great. This is really great. Rook F3, use of a partial open file. That is better than nothing, so you can't criticize him, but I mean, here comes the cherry on top, man. You've got two rooks on that G file, put the queen on that G file and go to town. That is just overwhelming. Really. Pretty dang good. Rook takes D6, the backward pawn, and it is a weakness, so he did focus on a weakness, but perhaps he was thinking I need to at least come through on this side to help, but it's too little too late. Darn it, for him. Rook G2, of course. Hit the king. King H3. Queen G3 check, of course. Yeah, hit the king, hit the target. It's a queen sacrifice. It makes perfect sense that it's a queen sacrifice because the end result is take the target in the file, deliver the checkmate by hitting the targets in the file. What another just superb example of how it's done with the three targets. So anyway, there's your chess video. Hope you enjoyed this one. I personally really did. I had a gas playing through it and seeing Silman do his thing, man. All right, be good, have fun, do well, stay happy, and make someone else's day happy. It makes you feel great. I'm not even kidding. And there's more coming down the pipeline, man. I'll see you in the next chess video. I've got a 3-day weekend this weekend. You may get more videos than you're anticipating. Yeah, does the Backyard Professor love you? Yes, the Backyard Professor loves you, you fortunate people. Actually, I'm the one that's fortunate. I appreciate all your comments, your ideas, your helps, your criticisms. I love this interaction. Yes, I'm working on getting online. Relax, I'll get there, I promise. All right, I'll see you in the next video, man.